if you're a guy approaching who happens to be one of those guys, well, there are a lot of them in the community, who go direct, which is basically giving a compliment to the girl very, very early off in order to start a conversation, in order to get into a conversation. This message should hopefully be able to remove you from the delusion of thinking that that is actually doing something. Here on Man Alive, obviously, is this channel dedicated to cold approach. And if you want to check out the rest of the channel, like, subscribe, share, comment how this has helped you. You know, share with other people who are other guys who are on their journey as well. You can check out my written blog, Shaka Piankowski, at Wix site Man Alive. Man Alive is the name of it. I talk about, and I've made videos on the reasons why guys should not open direct. And I have no problem repeating it because it needs repeating, it bears repeating. Direct opening is great for people who are very new. Direct opening is great for people who are just getting their feet wet approaching. Because it feels like it gives you a reason, an excuse to approach. It's not great to actually do it. It doesn't help you. It actually hurts you, right? It's a shot in the foot instead of a a stepping stone, right? It's a stumbling block. But a lot of guys like it because one, it allows them to express what they're there for very early on, right? It's it's an easy way to make something man to woman, right? To make the interaction more man to woman, like I'm here to talk to you, to flirt with you, right? Type of vibe. And they think that doing that up front will kind of make the rest of the interaction a piece of cake, right? Once I say, hey, I think you're damn cute, and what the hell is your name? I'm whatever their name is, right? They think that they've done the bulk of the work. They think that that's all the work that there is to be done in an interaction. But really, when you start an interaction, when you set it off, now the work really begins. So there's nothing you can say when you start an interaction to necessarily make the work easier, right? It's you starting the interaction is the easiest part. And everything else that comes after is very, very, very important, much more important than what you started with. But here are the three reasons, right? Without me getting off onto too much of a tangent. Number one, it's very supplicating. It's a compliment overdone. It's very easy to sound supplicating when you open direct, when you open with a compliment. And quite often you give your power away. A lot of people or a lot of guys will hear that by complimenting girl, you give your power away. You still need to compliment at the right time in the right way, period. But doing it, doing a direct style open, really, you're kind of putting your nuts on the table. You know, way too early, I might add. Way too early. And it doesn't help you. That doesn't help you. That makes you look easy. The second reason, maybe it could be the first reason because it's very, very important to understand this, is that the essence of all direct opening is I like you even though I don't know anything about you. Do you like me? even though you don't know anything about me. That's what you're asking her. That's what you're telling her, right? You have to understand that you're forcing a girl, when you go direct, you're forcing a girl to make a very quick split-second decision about whether she likes you, yes or no. And girls are not guys, unfortunately, right? With guys, we do it all the time, right? We see a girl, big butt, pretty face, that's it. We're in. We're in. That's all we need to see. With girls, it doesn't work that way. They have to see your personality. They have to feel your energy. They have to see, okay, what is he about? Right? They need to see your personality. It needs to leak out on a consistent basis. Enough so she can say, huh, I like this guy. But to open direct, you're giving her no personality sample, yet you're asking her whether she likes you or not. 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. There's a lot of guys who will say, well, this is efficient. This is a way to screen out the girls who don't like you enough. In my opinion, that is not the case. What you're doing is burning sets with girls that you would have had a chance with, but you're trying to move too fast. You're jumping way too fast into that part of the interaction. You're not giving the interaction a chance to build. You're killing it. So you would actually have gotten more girls, much more girls, who were actually into you had you done the right thing instead of the wrong thing. Right? You're asking her to make a quick split-second decision about whether she likes you. Most all the time, the answer is going to be no. It would be a waste of time to do something like that. The third reason is that interactions need to increase as time goes on. They need to improve or feel like they're improving. Give the illusion that they're improving as time goes on. For doing direct approach, especially the way most guys do it, and even if they did it differently, you're putting the most significant thing that you can say at the beginning of your interaction, and the rest of your interaction is falling off a cliff. I'm talking about puppy dogs, and talking about hot dogs, and mosquitoes, and cars. You know, do you like movies? The whole rest of the interaction is falling off. But you said, you're so damn cute that I had to come say something to you in the beginning for the very first thing that you said. Right? That's a spike. Everything else just feels like the interaction is going down. Just feels like it's getting worse. Right? Because just complimenting is not flirting. And if you compliment too early like that, you're not actually building the interaction. You're making it seem like it's getting worse. But a lot of guys don't understand how to properly build an interaction, so they have no clue about this. This is why it's said that you want to start an interaction, or it doesn't matter, non-social environments or social environments, on the lowest energy level, the lowest, most blasé level possible, and you want to slowly increase it. Because if you start at the lowest level possible, the lowest energy level possible, everything else that comes after will feel like an improvement. Everything else that comes after will feel like it's getting better. It naturally, if I ask something mundane, if I ask for a camera store around here? And then we get to talking. We get to conversing. And then I say something cocky funny. And she says, oh, he's kind of witty. Oh, he's kind of confident. This is kind of interesting. You see what's happening here, right? We can build off of, we can start very low, but we can build off of that to make the interaction feel like, wow, this is getting interesting for the girl, right? She's starting to think that this is getting interesting. This is headed somewhere. But even if guys learn how to flirt properly, guys learn how to flirt properly, guys learn how to carry a set properly, you still do not want to start on too strong of a note. Just strong enough that it gets her attention. Because you want the interaction to grow in significance, to grow in its energy. If you start off too strong, too high, or too high of a point, you're doing yourself a disservice. The one only time you should ever use direct opening is very short sets. Very, very short interactions where you're in a rush, you're running, right? You got to catch this train, got to catch this bus, whatever it is. And you see a girl, and you're like, hey, you look amazing in that dress. How about going out to get coffee with a handsome-ass guy sometime soon? Right? Because you're leaving soon. You're starting off on a high point, but you're leaving soon. And you tell her, look, I don't have much time to talk, but I'm actually in a rush now. I should be headed straight to the train. But I had to stop. You look amazing in that dress. How about going for coffee with a handsome guy soon? Right? Like, because you're in there for 1-2 minutes at best. And then you're leaving. But that's the only time that it's appropriate because the interaction won't feel like it's falling off a cliff. It's very short. So as opposed to starting high and then going this way, you start high and maybe you end up here. It doesn't feel so bad. That's why she's willing to see you again. Also another caveat, which is why even long sets, guys who have long sets and then get numbers, these numbers will or can flake off, right? As opposed to, guys getting short numbers, very quick interactions. The reason why is the way the set ended up, the way it was feeling, the feeling of it, the energy of it. If you have a long set that feels like it's declining, and then you get the number way down here, right? You can spend an hour with the girl, let's say, for example, but the interaction felt worse. And so she's going to be like, hell no, it's just going to get worse next time. It's just going to get even worse. As opposed to a very short interaction, maybe it goes down a little bit, everything is preserved. So just to keep that in mind, right? One, direct opening can be over supplicating. You're doing too much too soon. You're asking her to come up with a split-second answer on whether she likes you or not, and she has no sample of your personality to do so. When you start off on too strong of a foot, on too high of a note, and you stay there long enough, the interaction can feel like it's getting worse, and she doesn't want a part of that. The only reason you should ever do direct is very, very short interactions that won't feel like they're getting worse. Well, if you like this content, like, subscribe, share. Stay tuned to the channel. Check out my written stuff at Shaka Piankowski, Wix site Man Alive. I'll post a link. check it out. Share that with anybody in your life you think would benefit from this. Any guys you know who are going through their dating journey, their cold approach journey. Hopefully they're doing cold approach. Hopefully. And let's make this the #1 cold approach channel on the internet, because there needs to be a channel just dedicated to that. A lot more eyes, I would say, are turning towards cold approach now. People are getting tired with online dating. People are tired of waiting for people to put them on, in social contexts and situations. But so interest around cold approach is improving, and it's increasing, I would say. So let's tackle this problem. Let's tackle this interesting field together. And I am glad that you watched, all of you out there, that you chose me as somewhat of a guide, even for just this video. And hopefully you come back and you bring other people with you. And you let the other guys that you know about cold approach. So take care and put this into action. Let me know how it goes in the comments.